the 9K-38 Igla is a Russian-Soviet man-portable infrared homing surface-to-air missile. 9K-38 is the Russian GRAU designation of the system. Its US DoD designation is SA-18 and its NATO reporting name is Grouse. A simplified, earlier version is known as the 9K-310 Igla-1, or SA-16 Gimlet. The latest variant is the 9K-338 Igla-S NATO reporting name SA-24 Grinch. It has been fielded by the Russian Army since 2004. There exists a two-barrel 9K-38 missile launcher called Gigit. History: the development of the Igla's short-range man-portable air defense system began in the Kolomna OKB in 1972. Contrary to what is commonly reported, the Igla is not an improved version of the earliest SLA family, but an all-new project. The main goals were to create a missile with better resistance to countermeasures and wider engagement envelope than the earliest SLA series manpad systems. Technical difficulties in the development quickly made it obvious that the development would take far longer than anticipated however, and in 1978 the program split in two, while the development of the full capability Igla would continue. A simplified version with a simpler IR seeker based on that of the earliest SLA-3 would be developed to enter service earlier than the full capability version could be finished. Igla-1, the 9K-310 Igla-1 system and its 9M313A missile were accepted into service in the Soviet Army on March 11, 1981. The main differences from the SLA-3 included an optional identification friend or foe system to prevent firing on friendly aircraft, an automatic lead and super elevation to simplify shooting and reduce minimum firing range, a slightly larger rocket, reduced drag and better guidance system extend maximum range and improve performance against fast and maneuverable targets, an improved lethality on target achieved by a combination of delayed impact fusing, terminal maneuver to hit the fuselage rather than jet nozzle, an additional charge to set off the remaining rocket fuel on impact, an improved resistance to infrared countermeasures, and slightly improved seeker sensitivity. According to the manufacturer, South African tests have shown the Igla's superiority over the contemporary but smaller and lighter American FIM-92A Stinger missile. However, other tests in Croatia did not support any clear superiority, but effectively equal seeker performance and only marginally shorter time of flight and longer range for the Igla. According to Kolomna OKB, the Igla-1 has a PK of 0.30 to 0.48 against unprotected targets which is reduced to 0.24 in the presence of decoy flares and jamming. In another report the manufacturer claimed a PK of 0.59 against an approaching and 0.44 against receding F-4 Phantom II fighter not employing infrared countermeasures or evasive maneuvers. Igla, the full capability 9K-38 Igla with its 9M39A missile was finally accepted into service in the Soviet Army in 1983. The main improvements over the Igla-1 included much improved resistance against flares and jamming, a more sensitive seeker, expanding forward hemisphere engagement capability to include straight approaching fighters under favorable circumstances, a slightly longer range, a higher impulse, shorter burning rocket with higher peak velocity. The naval variant of 9K-38 Igla has the NATO reporting name SA-10 Grouse. The Igla Euro-1M missile consists of a ground power supply source, launching tube, launching mechanism and missile. Operational history. Iraq, the most notable combat use of the Igla-1E was during the Gulf War. On January 17, 1991, a Panavia tornado bomber of the Royal Air Force was shot down by an Iraqi manpads that may have been an Igla-1E after an unsuccessful bombing mission. In addition, an Igla-1E may have shot down an American F-16 on February 27. The pilot was captured. Another probable victim was the AC-130H lost in the same war, hit by a manpads that may have been an SA-14 or Igla. Rwanda, private intelligence company Stratfor asserts that Igla-1E missiles were used in the 1994 shoot-down of a Rwandan government flight, killing the presidents of Rwanda and Burundi and sparking the Rwandan genocide, which resulted in approximately 800,000 deaths in 100 days. Senate War. During the Senate War between Ecuador and Peru, Both the Ecuadorian Army and the Peruvian Army utilized Igla-1E missiles against aircraft and helicopters. A Peruvian Air Force Mi-25 attack helicopter was shot down on February 7, 1995 around Base del Sur, killing the 3 crewmen, while an Ecuadorian Air Force A-37 Dragonfly was hit but managed to land on February 11. Hits on additional Ecuadorian aircraft were claimed but could not be confirmed. Bosnia, during Operation Deliberate Force, on August 30, 1995. A French Mirage 2000D was shot down over Pale with an Igla fired by air defense units of the Army of Republika Srpska. The pilots were captured and freed in December 1995. Chechnya, the 2002 Kankala Mi-26 crash occurred on August 19, 2002 when a team of Chechen separatists with an Igla brought down a Russian Mi-26 helicopter in a minefield and resulted in the death of 127 Russian soldiers in the greatest loss of life in the history of helicopter aviation. It was also the most deadly aviation disaster ever suffered by the Russian armed forces, as well as their worst loss of life in a single day since 1999. Syrian civil war, video has surfaced showing rebels using an Igla-1E on a Syrian government helicopter. Such weapons were believed to have been looted from a Syrian army base in Aleppo in February 2013. Alternatively, these missiles could have been supplied by Turkey or Qatar via Croatia. In 2014, a member of the rebel group Harakat Hazm was filmed aiming an Igla-1E into the air on the same day that the group was filmed operating BGM-71 TOW missiles. Whether these weapons were raided from regime's stockpiles or supplied via overseas is unknown. Egypt, on January 25, 2014, the militant group Ansar Bayt al-Maqdis shot down an Egyptian Mi-17 over the northern Sinai Peninsula using the suspected Igla-1E or Igla. How the group came to obtain the weapon is currently unknown. Ukraine, on June 14, 2014, separatist forces near Luhansk International Airport in eastern Ukraine shot down an Il-76 of the Ukrainian Air Force, probably using an Igla manpads, killing all 49 Ukrainian service personnel on board. Other variants. Several variants of the Igla were developed for specific applications. Igla-1E, export version. Igla-1M, improved version of 9K-38 Igla. Entered service in Soviet military during the late 1980s. Igla-1D, A version for paratroopers and special forces. Igla-1V, air-launched version, mainly for combat helicopters. Igla-1N, A version with heavier warhead at the cost of a slight reduction in range and speed. Igla-1A, export version. Igla-ZAR, the newest variant, which is a substantially improved variant with longer range, more sensitive seeker, improved resistance to latest countermeasures, and a heavier warhead. Manufacturer reports its probability of 0.8-0.9 state tests were completed in December 2001 and the system entered service in 2002. Series produced by the Dmitriev plant since December 1, 2004. Strelets Igla-S/Igla. The Strelets is designed for remote automated firing of the Igla and Igla-S surface-to-air missile by single shot, ripple or in salvo. Comparison chart to other manpads, use in plot against Air Force One, on August 12, 2003, as a result of a sting operation arranged as a result of cooperation between the American, British and Russian intelligence agencies. Hemant Lakhani, a British national, was intercepted attempting to bring what he had thought was an older generation Igla into the USA. He is said to have intended the missile to be used in an attack on Air Force One, the American presidential plane, or on a commercial U.S. airliner, and is understood to have planned to buy 50 more of these weapons. After the Federalnaya Sluzba Bezopasnosti detected the dealer in Russia, he was approached by U.S. undercover agents posing as terrorists wanting to shoot down a commercial plane. He was then provided with an inert Igla by undercover Russian agents, and arrested in Newark, New Jersey, when making the delivery to the undercover U.S. agent. An Indian citizen residing in Malaysia, Moinuddin Ahmed Hamid, and an American Yehuda Abraham who allegedly provided money to buy the missile were also arrested. Yehuda Abraham is president and CEO of Ambui Gem Corporation. Lakhani was convicted by jury in April 2005, and was sentenced to 47 years in prison. Operators. Igla and Igla-1 SAMs have been exported from the former Soviet Union to over 30 countries, including Angola, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Botswana, Brazil, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cuba, East Germany, Egypt, Ecuador, Eritrea, Finland, Hungary, India, Iran, Iraq, the Republic of Macedonia, Malaysia, Mexico, Morocco, North Korea, Peru, Poland, Serbia, Singapore, Slovakia, Slovenia, South Korea, Sri Lanka, Syria, Thailand, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, Vietnam and Zimbabwe. Several guerrilla and terrorist organizations are also known to have Iglas. Alleged operatives of the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, a rebel organization fighting for a homeland for Tamils in the island of Sri Lanka, were arrested in August 2006 by undercover agents of the FBI posing as arms dealers, while trying to purchase the Igla. In 2003 the unit cost was approximately $60,000 (Euro 80,000). Large numbers have been sold to the government of Venezuela, raising concerns that they may end up in the hands of Colombian guerrillas. Igla-1E. Igla. Igla-S, Azerbaijan, 300 launches with 1,500 missiles. Brazil, Libya, photo evidence of the truck-mounted twin version in service with the Libyan army emerged during the 2011 Libyan revolution starting from March 2011. 482 Igla-S missiles were imported from Russia in 2004. Some of them were unaccounted at the end of the war and they could have ended up in Iranian inventory. Israeli officials say that Igla-S were looted from Libyan warehouses in 2011 and transported by Iranians through Sudan and turned over to militants in Gaza and Lebanon. Russia, Slovenia, Syria, photo evidence of SA-24 manpads in the possession of Syrian rebels was first reported on November 13, 2012. As far as I know, this is the first SA-24 manpads ever photographed outside of state control, said one expert. Thailand, Venezuela, Vietnam, indigenously produced in Vietnam from 2012. Other uses. The GLL Igla is a recent Russian scramjet project conducted by TSIAM. See also, List of Russian weaponry, references. External links, Jibka 3M47 Naval Turret Mount, Air Defense Missile System, Navy Recognition.